and Fitz started sniffing something, and I looked closer and there was a nest of the baby rabbits. And two of the little bunnies were actually freezing and outside of the nest. So I just got to the wildlife sanctuary now. I'm up in the country. I love you. This week, I wanted to share with you my bunny story. I was documenting it on Instagram. If you guys follow me, you might have seen that. And two of the little bunnies were actually freezing and outside of the nest. And you're supposed to put the babies back in the nest. And they did. And it seems like they're getting warm, and now they're wrapped in a blanket. So I'm just gonna wait for the wildlife place to call me back. Since last Sunday, I was finding some animals coming across my path. First, there was a bird that was in need on Sunday. He unfortunately didn't make it, little Chester. I tried to get him shade. He was on the curb and he couldn't move much. I don't know if he was under stress or he hit a window or something. I didn't see anything broken. By the time the wildlife rescue got back to me, he had already passed on. Then the next day was raining. There was a huge downpour and I was walking Shiro and Fitz after work. And I was just in the courtyard of my condo, like right in front of my apartment because I'm on the ground floor. And Fitz started sniffing something and I looked closer and there was a nest of the baby rabbits. I was worried because I didn't know what to do. You know, when you find baby rabbits, you're supposed to leave them because the mom puts their nest there for a reason and she only comes back once in a while to feed them. But two of them had been washed out of the nest and they were shaking. They didn't even look like rabbits. I thought they were toads or something. I put them back in the nest. I looked up what to do if I can touch them, and I did. And I kept going back to check on them in this nest. I tried to call the Toronto Wildlife, and left a message to see if they had advice for me. Once I put these little guys back in, they warmed up. After a couple hours, they looked good as new, and I counted there were 8. Toronto Courtyard, it's a super high traffic area. People walk by with dogs. Like, they're generally respectful, but I had to tell the front desk and anyone who asked, you know, you don't want anything to happen. In a few days, they're probably going to be mowing the lawns and stuff, so it really wasn't a safe place. Michael and I had put up a nice sign just so people stayed away from it, and since some of the nest was washed away and they were cold, tried to cover the bunnies up a little bit. And when I heard from the wildlife place in Toronto, they had no room for them if the bunnies were orphaned. Told me to wait to see if the mom would come back. Guess that one night the sprinklers went off where they were as well, and I didn't think about the sprinklers, so the bunnies were really cold and washed out of the nest again. So a next door neighbor ended up moving them, which I wasn't sure if it was a good idea because then the mom maybe wouldn't have found them. Then in the morning, I got the note from my neighbor. It was really nice of them to keep the bunnies warm and move them, but I moved them back because I wanted the mom to find them. The front desk knew, they were thanking me for helping, so they were safe up until this point. The bunnies looked healthy. According to research, they looked like they were almost ready to be on their own, but not quite. And you're not really supposed to feed bunnies unless you're a professional, and I'm not a professional wildlife rehabilitator, so I didn't want to take any chances. Tried leaving them in the nest one more night. We blocked off the sprinklers so nothing would happen. I contacted a few more wildlife centers out of town, just hoping one of them would get back to me and have space for the bunnies. Someone that works for the building, they ended up doing a string test to see if the mom would come back, and in the morning, the bunnies were still a bit cold. I think they were fed up with the nest. And the mom didn't come by the looks of it. That morning, my prayers were answered and a rehabilitation place about an hour or so away in the countryside in Bradford called me back. And I sent them videos and pictures, and the woman said they have room for the babies. By the sounds of it, the mom wasn't coming back. I didn't know how much time I have to keep them in this condo place because people were starting to stare. So I said I would get them that day later to the rehabilitation place. The rehab place also said that the bunnies looked really healthy and maybe they were a week away from being able to hop on their own. I could tell they were alert because their eyes were open. And then when I had to move them to my house, I had to put them in a bin, like a big box with towels and stuff. And me and Michael had to chase them because they started hopping. And this was the first time they're hopping everywhere. Once I got them in the little crate, they were fine for the day. and I successfully got them to this rehabilitation place. So I look really bad now. Just came to pick up the bunnies. So I actually have them in my car now. They're in here.
All 8 of them.
I'm just glad all my little babies survived so far. One more look at the babies because I'm obsessed with them. I love you. So I just got to the wildlife sanctuary now. I'm up in the country. I'm gonna miss my bunnies. Bye, bunnies. I went on a nice country drive, and by the looks of it, the rabbits will be much happier there. So I'm very happy about that. We made some donations. If you guys want to donate, I'm going to show you the name and I'll link to the place as well. But something sad did happen. Just like 2 days after, Michael and I actually saw what looked like the mom. She'd been lingering around the building like a few times. Definitely feel bad, but she didn't come back for like 2 days. After I brought them, they definitely mowed the lawn. It'd be traumatizing and they probably would have gotten hurt. I think I definitely made the right choice. And the mom, I wish I could speak bunny. Her babies will be released into the countryside, and all 8 of them made it. The wildlife rescue gave me a case number so I can check on them, which I will be doing in a few days. So yeah, that's my story about the bunnies. If you guys find any wildlife, because it's baby season apparently, just try and keep them safe because they will be very grateful and you'll be doing a good thing. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys all soon. Bye.